Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soulprint. This is going to be a channeled message that I have been requested to do at this time. So I'm not going to chitter chatter. Thank you for your support, your comments, questions in the comment section. You know the drill. Thank you very, very much for being here. I think this is going to be an incredibly important channeling. So here we go. For those of you who sort of pay attention to this kind of thing, the crystal that I am using to help ground and receive information is one of my crystals from Lemuria. They're incredible and they're powerful. All right, here we go. What is it? What is the message that needs to be given and shared at this time? Thank you. We are grateful for the opportunity to share this information and perhaps offer hope, insight, and guidance. Even the timing of this recording is significant. It is being recorded on March 21st, which is the day following the spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere. It is the day in which light has moved beyond the balance of darkness and light, and increasing light continues to evolve and move forward day by day. This isn't by chance we have chosen this date. It is to help you understand that the planet is at a place where the balance between light and dark has now slowly shifted so that the light energy is becoming more powerful. It is increasing. It is gaining strength, substance, energy, and power. Make no mistake, the year 2026 has long been determined as the pivot. This is the place and the time where either civilization as a whole will move forward into a place of enlightenment, of understanding, or it will sink further into a civilization of greed, corruption, chaos. This is when civilizations, the people of each country, start to finally recognize and accept that you are all one from one source, and that the advancement of the human race, as you know and understand it, is on the edge of a giant leap forward, an evolution that has been long in the making. We have often spoke of the flower children of the 40s, 50s, and 60s who came and planted the seeds. Even back then, it was known that this time of pivot was coming, which is why certain souls were born in certain decades throughout the last 60, 70 years as you count time. The greed and the corruption is not exclusive to, for example, the United States or Russia or Venezuela, or name any other country where the leaders are raping not only the resources and the very earth that sustains them, but the people and the citizens, and denying them the right and the ability to move forward in a way that creates an understanding that all are equal. For too long, the energy of there must be those above who tell everyone else what is right and correct and how to live and how to function. But what you are seeing now is a culmination. You are seeing a place where, given the behavior and the option chosen to start an illegal war, and not the first. It was not so long ago that Russia started an illegal war against Ukraine. And there are many more examples. This inhumanity and the inhumanity that has been allowed to grow and fester and expand within a country that was once considered by some the shining light on the hill, and has descended into a place of chaos, of hate, of brutal behavior, attitudes, and ideas, shows you how close to the brink civilization can come when understanding, compassion are allowed to be buried under the driving need for material possessions, for power, for greed, for superiority. The sequence of events that have led to now are not or were not unexpected. If you saw from 30,000 feet the trajectory, the greed, and the and the assets that would be trampled on to achieve, acquire, accumulate, and hold more than any soul or country ever needs. You have billionaires who are on the verge of becoming trillionaires. And yet you have millions of people who don't know where their next meal is coming from, who don't know if there will be help or support when they need it. This is the state of the world. You have in 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 Donald Trump the personification of all that results when ego, driven by fear, make no mistake, is driven to a place where the only way that ego, and there are more, can feel safe and protected, secure, is when they take and steal and absorb resources from others. The guarantee of the planet and the civilization moving forward as is desired by so many of you is not promised. But on this day, the light increases. On this day, positive steps moving forward in the pivotal year can help move closer to the ideal and frankly farther away from the current horrifying reality of what is taking place. Your planet has long suffered from imbalances, war, unimaginable cruelty, because whether it be a religious ideal, and we mean religious, not spiritual, or whether it is a personality or psychological ideal. But there is this ongoing issue, whether it is the Holocaust or whether it is slavery, of I am better, I am stronger, and therefore I will control and command and do as I wish. Have a ruler in the United States who reacts badly to any constraint like a spoiled child. When he is told no, he pushes harder in the other direction. Whether it is kidnapping a leader from another country or threatening other sovereign countries, that he simply feels he can take them over because he wants to. And for reasons that define logic, he has somehow been allowed to believe that he can and that he is entitled. Much like rulers in other parts of the world. So make no mistake, the chaos is the signal that the time to continue to move forward in every and all way, bringing and amplifying light. What is light? It is goodness, it is compassion, it is inclusiveness. It is recognizing that different is simply different. It is not better or worse. Civilization was not created so that there was a inequality. It was created so that a blending of ideas, attitudes, cultures could come together and create an understanding and a whole with a new strength, with new inspiration, with new ideals and belief structures that take into consideration every person's soul journey and their heart. For those who hate what is going on now, understand it is creating that feeling in you because you carry the hurt and the pain of not being heard, understood, valued, deemed worthy. And so when you see behavior that minimizes and in many cases just demolishes that sense of self, you react. On the other side of the equation, for people who idolize and worship the cruelty, the hate, and to think that the superiority of one over many is absolutely the way to go, they too are healing a wound of feeling insignificant and not heard and not understood. And so what you have are two extreme reactions to what is fundamentally the same space where healing is required. So let us be very clear that as exhausted, as tired, as fed up, as frustrated, as many, many, many are, the work, the real work, it starts now on this day where light has overcome darkness and will last just a little longer and shine just a little brighter. We are not unmindful of the fact that we are referencing this in the Northern Hemisphere. And the reason for that is because a great amount of the very behavior that needs to be pushed away, healed, and released is taking place on your planet in the Northern Hemisphere. So let the work begin. So many of you have been working so hard at holding the light, keeping the light, embracing the light, expanding the light, and you are to be commended and congratulated. You are to know that you are cherished by all of the divine who are working hand in hand with all of you to take your planet to a place of greater hope, of greater growth. But this is where the time starts, where you continue to voice your highest truth, voice your desires for the world you are wishing to create. Because what was And that fragile balance that seemed to have sort of suspended it in space for decades has collapsed. There is no going back. There is only going forward into brighter or going deeper into the dark. Do not look for just normalcy to return, because this is a time where a new normal is being created. And the question is, will that normal shine bright, or will that normal become increasingly dark? So what do you do? What do the light workers do? How do you continue? First, recognize that you are not alone. Recognize that you not only have other millions of light workers on the planet working with you, knowingly or unknowingly. Recognize that you have the support of beings from other dimensions, from other realities that perhaps you cannot hear or see, but we're there. And we are help holding that powerful light energy. We are sending our light to you so that you can take yours and expand it out in a way that has never before been seen on Earth. Not with the other previous civilizations that managed to destroy themselves. Not before on this planet. It is not the time to be silent. It is the time to speak out, particularly those in countries where there is still a hope and a threat of democracy. This is where you reach out to your government officials and you say, stop the insanity, rein this corruption and this out of control cruelty, rein this behavior in and bring it to a stop. This is where your marches on the streets and your phone calls and your letters and your community gatherings all have so much power. Because as the light continues to increase in this pivotal year, it is imperative that the light of the souls increase, amplify, magnify, and flourish. It is your treating others with compassion. It is offering a hug or a cup of coffee or smile to those in need. It is giving where you can give. And giving is not about money, although certainly in your world it helps. It is about giving of the heart. It is about speaking your truth. And it is about making clear that the alternative is not going to happen, not on your watch, not this time. So many of you who are here now, light workers who are fighting the fight, adding the resistance, activating to bring new hope, new light, and more light. You watch the destruction of Lemuria. You watch the destruction of the other civilizations. And you are now here saying, not on my watch, not this time. Atlantis didn't fall into the ocean because of some calamity. It fell into the ocean because the people of the civilization destroyed it with greed, with people trying to be more powerful than the one beside them. And yes, they had amazing spirituality in that civilization. They had amazing healing temples. They had amazing positive energy, but it was not enough to balance. But this time, oh, this time the light and the earth has been flooded with the light and the light of light workers and the souls of light workers. But this is when the real work starts. And for many of you, you will be able to witness the beginnings, and you will be able to see the the labor, the birth of that new beginning. For your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, they will live in a world that was brought back from the brink by an awareness that love is all, and that light will conquer the dark. But it is a process. And you, amazing, wonderful, and cherished souls who are the light workers and those who work with them and guide them and support them and help them, whether it is the healers or it is the different disciplines that are used to bring body, soul, and mind into cohesiveness, into a unit of one. This is your work. This is your time. There are so many of you, you do not lose faith. And as you are repeatedly told, pay attention to what's going on, but don't absorb it. Stay in your light. You can't fix what you can't see. But when you can see that which is broken, that which is disintegrating, that which has become so far removed from the light, it is pure dark. That is when you open your heart and you keep on doing the work. We, with everything that we are, would love to promise you that if you just do this, it will all be okay. Understand, if more and more and more of you all do this, if there is a cohesiveness, a coming together energetically of the light, hope, the love, the promise, the optimism, the inclusiveness, the acceptance, then that which you struggle for will come to pass. And that which you are able to not vanquish, because there will always be balance, but that which you are able to return or perhaps find a place where the energy of greed and superiority and power can be contained in a way that allows for a balance so that the imbalance that you now live with can be moved away from. What you will discover is slowly but surely what you are now fighting so hard or working so hard to create balance. On the first day after the spring equinox, you are now creating more light than there is dark. And that work is a sight to behold and see as we watch it from where we are and as we contribute all that we can. You must understand you are not alone in the vastness that you cannot even comprehend, because it is beyond the scope of the human brain to understand how vast the vastness is. But understand this, you are not alone. And what goes on in your planet, in your world, impacts others. And that is why so many have come together. But we can do what we can do. But you, those of you who are in physical form, who are human, who are on the planet now, this is your calling. For those of you wondering what your life purpose is, there's your answer. Your life purpose is being a light worker, holding, maintaining, sharing, and expanding the light. Do not lose hope. Do not lose faith. But no more can you stand silently in confusion about how did this happen. The time now is to open your heart, speak with your voice, and let your voice be a reflection of the highest ideals that you wish to embrace, expand, and grow. This is the time. This is the pivot. Know that you do not stand alone. And we share with you as much light energy as there is available. And trust me, it is infinite. But the work must be done on the planet that created what is, and what frankly has been allowed to go on. You see, you must understand the difference is that now with your technology, you all have the ability to know almost instantaneously what is going on everywhere else. There will come a time where those amazing machines will work in harmony with humans. But right now, the misinformation, the disinformation, the confusion, falseness, the fake, don't let it gain any more ground. Yes, it's exhausting. But none of you were made in an image of weakness. You were made and created in an image of light, power, and infinite love. That is our message. It's time for you to shine. This is all. Bye. I've got nothing to add. Thank you for being here.